Hi, this is Postman, and this will be the track walkthrough of the fourth track of the Rites of Calling EP. The track is called Neck Deep in the Mire. As the title suggests, kind of more eerie, kind of full-on track. This track also has that more obvious drum and bass feel, that hectic kind of groove to it. But first off, I'll read you the story of the track. Alex and Dow managed to find some information about a potential new hunting ground. Ray soon got caught by a scouting stealing, as cunning isn't her strongest calling. The elder is pleased and the worries of the villagers lulled. Dow looks forward to their next challenger. But the others would rather cower. In the rite of survival, they will have to stay alive for one day and one night in the wild, teeming with feral beasts and worse, vicious stealings. The elder, as guided by the ring, sends them to the mire, a haunted bog deep within the forests. The black water there is vilified by all tribes. For reasons unknown, it seems to nullify the enhancements granted by the ring, or worse, completely draining bodies. So, like the story mentions, it quite has a more dark tone. I've used some of that loop reiteration technique that I mentioned before the previous videos. Let's take the project file. So the main thing I reiterated is this intro drummy tonal percussion stuff. So it sounds like this. Which sounds almost nothing like the original, which is this. Yeah, quite a big difference. So let's get right into it. So the intro is this tonal percussion with a lot of swampy, watery textures around it. So this reiteration line is that loop I showed you before with different stretched out, different warp modes. Both are the beats mode, but in the bottom one actually only a short amount of the transients are passing through. Yeah. And here they are being stuttered. Yeah, giving it a glitchy feel. The drums are being processed through the Corpus device from Ableton Live, which is mimicking some physical modeling. So using the sound source as an excitement for a particular membrane, which is, here is a tube tuned to a C. Same for the top one. Okay, and that, I think that tonal loops sets a bit the mood, quite eerie and drony, with the added swampy like textures. There's kind of blips and glitches, the gurgly sounds. Then the build up is more eerie, has those eerie like pads with textures, kind of percussive loop building up. So you can hear the main bass being introduced, and this bass pulse helping with the eeriness. Okay, and then the drop is quite heavy. First off, there is this kind of heavy boomy kick. Actually there are two, so this main kick being layered with another transient sample. They're really harsh and and hitting, and this what I call off kick is a bit softer. Yeah, and there are a lot of snares or claps, and these are all grouped together in a MIDI track, and I really seldom use MIDI tracks for drums, but here was the most manageable thing, just to quickly change up the rhythms and all. See, all these samples are being sliced and cut accordingly, being EQ'd a bit. I don't know what the EQ, I dipped some of the annoying frequencies, the MIDI frequencies, and I distorted it, added some top end with erosion, some top end with Shep's particles plugin, and so on. Also, I use the Brainworks refinement plugin. It's a, I don't know how it really works, but it kind of helps with reducing the harshness of a sound. I don't know how it works. Maybe some filtering, low pass filtering going on, but it's kind of subtle, but it works here. Okay, that's it for the snares. The groove of the snares was based on this kind of loop, I think. Yeah, but just translated into other sounds and changed accordingly. Okay, another important element of the drop is this bass. Yeah. Bass, let's hear it. Dry, kind of like. Yeah, it's this growly, noisy kind of bass with a resonant tone to it. It's being fed through a band splitter, and I'm muting the midsection of it and automating the crossover frequencies. So here in the first part of the drop, I'm just letting through almost only the lows, gives it that boomy feel, and at multiband with the multiband splitting with the mids being turned off kind of simulates kind of filter action, but also because I'm rhythmically changing it, it has also that kind of auto-pan rig modulation kind of feel to it. So it's being drum bust for distortion, erosion for some high-end accentuation, and so on. Oh yeah, this neutron equalizer, I think it's just to make sure it doesn't overlap too much with the kick, I guess. Yeah, probably. Okay. Yeah, no real sub because it's already subby on its own. Then later in the drop we have this pulse kind of sound with that really kind of dissonant kind of reverb texture, adding to the eeriness. Okay, yeah. Then there's a switch up, changing up rhythm, being more kind of entrancing, maybe just, and with these alien growls being featured in, yeah, kind of painting the moment where the snake-like stealing is coming up, which will, yeah, I think in the next video I'll talk about that moment in the story. I think it's quite cool. Yeah, so there's this rhythm is being changed up, some extra filtered bass are being featured in. Yeah. Then later up in that section, some drones are being added to feed the eeriness. Some kind of droney string instruments being comb filtered. Yeah, has that really kind of accentuates those metallic kind of qualities of the instrument. And then it's all climaxing into break. And the break is kind of introducing us back into those tonal percussions. Yeah. Second drop is a bit different with a half-time kind of beat, half-time kind of feel, with some added vocals on top, adding to the eeriness again. Yeah. So here you can hear the main bass being more being modulated with the multiband device. Yeah, actually it's doing a triplet, I guess. Yeah, and with a sine wave kind of envelope to it. Yeah, I think it sounded cool. And later in the section is being more full on. Yeah. Okay. Also here is the second element being kind of reiterated. So I took an old loop of mine, put it through Regroover Pro, which is kind of AI powered plugin which takes in a sample and yeah, kind of divides it into a few stems via deep network machine learning kind of stuff and spectral processing. And I took out the clicks and pops out of that loop and yeah, processed them accordingly with a vocoder, erosion, some reverb and whatnot. Yeah. So later in the section the pitch is being dropped just to have some extra movement, kind of letting the track die off a bit more. And I guess again that's it for this track. So really kind of stinky roller if you want, with a tribal feel to it. So if you like the video, please leave a like if you want to. If you want to subscribe, please do so. Give the EP a listen, and I'll see you next time.